Morning guys, Al here. So the training tip of the day is for all you bicep junkies. Now I don't usually do curls for the girls, but when I do curls for the girls, or actually curls for my girl, I'm married. So when I do curls, I make sure I get the most bang for my buck. So usually when I train biceps, I love big compound movements. I'm going to be doing a lot of weighted pull-ups, a lot of chin-ups there, rows and everything like that. But every now and then I like to have a little variety, of course. But when I do my curls, I make sure I get some nice supination into that curl. So what I like to do, instead of grabbing it just in that middle of that bar, I actually grab a little bit closer to the thumb side, just like that. So when you do a curl, it kind of forces you to have that supination. And the bicep is not only in charge of you flexing that elbow, but it also is in charge of that little supination action there too. So that's just a quick training tip of the day. I don't know if you guys noticed, I have a new logo. It's AM Training. It's a little play and pun on my initials and also how when I train in the morning. So let me know what you guys think. I have to deadlift to my knees here, and I just went ahead and told you that quick tip for bicep curls. And I'm looking at my bicep right now in this voiceover, and definitely looks like I need some curls because my bicep is actually shrinking. Like I said, I find myself that I'm losing weight, and yeah, I'm checking myself out and it doesn't look too good at all. Right now I have a front view here and just never really recorded in this kind of front view. Just I want to make sure that everything looks okay, a little zoomed in, and I remember at the time it felt pretty good. So moving on to the bench press, nothing significant here. I just remember thinking at the time that this feels too easy. I felt like I wasn't getting enough I felt like I wasn't getting enough challenge or enough intensity, and I almost questioned the whole program of Sheiko. But that was just me doubting myself and doubting the program when I feel like I know people need to give the program an honest try. So I actually didn't change too much of the program at all, even though I know that it's pretty customizable. At least that's what Ben Rice says, and he customizes it to himself. I just wanted to stick with the program, how it's written. The only thing I did notice is that there's a lot of pressing movements, but no rowing movements at all, at least in the original programs of Sheiko. And so I'm actually concerned about that, just because I tried to be a balance freak, almost trying to balance out everything, just because I know that imbalances are a lot of the origin of a lot of injuries. So I actually add in the program. I'm not taking anything away from it, but I am adding in more of pulling movements. So I'll be doing a lot of chin-ups, a lot of rows and stuff like that. I also do a lot of prehab that I don't record. Let me know if you do. Let me know if you guys are interested in all that prehab stuff, instead of just having it for the tip of the day. And if you're interested in seeing some of that stuff that I specifically do for my shoulder and hip. So here I recorded the rest of my remaining bench press sets in a different angle. And I remember at the time I was thinking that I need to pause more, just because I know it will take away that stretch shortening reflex and hopefully strengthen my muscles rather than relying on the elasticity of my muscles. But the thing is, I'm looking at it now and it wasn't very much of a pause. It's funny how you think it's a 2-second pause at the time, but when you're looking back at it in a video or a voiceover like right now, what I'm doing right now, it doesn't look like it at all. Looks like I'm just bouncing it off my chest for a little bit, really. So now that just tells me next time I just need to make sure I have to count out loud maybe. Now moving on to the rack pulls, but in this case the jack pulls. The jacks are back. The jack is back, and actually I remember kind of tweaking my neck very slightly just because I had to look left and right just to put it down, just to make sure that it is on top of the jack stands. Actually, a couple of these reps I almost misfire, and they're at the very edge of the jack stand, and it's not in the groove, in the actual groove. So I'm actually trying to look for blocks that I can pull off of. So I haven't found any blocks around. I was actually trying to look into Home Depot and get at least some kind of boards just to put underneath there, just so I can pull from a block, or even use that as like deficit pulls or anything like that, something that's more versatile. But the thing is, since Christmas came around, my wallet, I've said this before, but my wallet tends to be a little bit of a hard gainer, just like its owner. So I actually busted out my straps just because I felt like my grip was giving away. Lately I felt like my grip is getting weaker, and I remember there was an article that said that, and what comes to mind when my grip starts to give away is that maybe I'm just overworked. I don't know, maybe too much stress. I know a lot of people think that overtraining is not possible. I tend to think that it's pretty hard to get to, but I do notice that, you know, when you overtrain or training pretty hard, that your grip gives away, and even when you're on an off day, your grip is weaker. In an article I read, it actually showed ways that you can actually see if you're overtrained or if your central nervous system is fried. There are a couple things I remember on the top of my head, where you have an increased heart rate when you wake up, or also your vertical jump isn't as high. And I think the last one that I think that the article said was that your grip is weaker significantly in the morning. And thank you guys for watching. Make sure you like and subscribe to my channel. Thanks again.